Hi everybody, it's Gilda. We're going to be doing a project today that is actually set up for Wooddale Library. And you're going to get a plate that looks like this. Also, you will receive a jar or a half a jar, I'm not sure what I'm going to put it in, of a glaze. It's called 352. With that glaze, you are going to apply 3 full coats on this plate. Make sure that you have it, put it on in one direction. I've already applied it to this plate because I want to be able to do the whole project while you're watching without having to stop. You'll get a fan brush that looks like this. Load it all the way to the metal and apply 3 smooth, even coats on the plate. Let it dry until the water sheen is gone and then apply the next coat. Once you get all 3 of those coats on, put the plate aside. I would do it the day before or at least a few hours. If you touch it and it feels cold, you cannot do this project. You have to make sure that the plate is thoroughly dry or the vinyl will not stick. Now you'll get your vinyl, it'll look like this. It comes on what we call transfer paper. I just spilled some color here, so let me get this up. It comes on transfer paper, which is the paper that's on top, okay? So this is the transfer paper that you can like see through, and this is the backing. The backing will have numbers on it. So we're gonna work from the front of this paper, like this. So the paper will look like this. And then you're gonna peel this back. So what we wanna do is we want the blue to be down with nothing on it. Everything should stick on this transfer paper. So you're just gonna pull it up. If it doesn't wanna stick, rub it with your fingers a little bit, but make sure you get all of the pattern onto the transfer tape. So it'll look just like this when it's coming off. And normally there's not really any problem in getting this off. It comes right up. And just rub it a little bit with your fingers. A little piece between his legs didn't want to come off. Okay, got it. And then rub a little bit more until you get it completely off. So now it'll look like this, okay? So now we're gonna lay this onto the plate. Now, when you are putting this down, do not start to press until you're sure you have it where you want it. Because once it loses its stickiness, it will not stick anymore. So put it down and then rub again, okay? Just run your fingers across it. Don't rub it too hard, because sometimes too hard makes it not want to separate. And now we're gonna pull the transfer tape off, leaving the vinyl down, okay? So we're gonna pull it just like this, pressing as you go. Now you could trim this a little more, but I would give yourself some background. It just makes it easier. And make sure again that all the pieces are getting down. If anything is sticking to the transfer tape, do you see what I'm doing? Make sure that you rub it and push again. And it'll come up. It's getting used to working with this. Rub, press, press. Two little pieces right there. Now, when you are, I'll show this to you. When you're removing it, you gotta make sure that you have everything off. Okay. Put a piece right there. Okay, we are on. So now I've got the entire pattern on. Now you want to go around with your fingers and press around the design. We do that so we don't get any bleed through underneath, okay? So we press that all on. So it's nice and tight to the plate. Again, do not apply this if it feels cold. It has got to be thoroughly dry or it won't stick. And if you start putting it down and it's cold and it doesn't stick, you're not going to be able to reapply it. It has to be thoroughly dry. I would recommend you do the plate the day before, let it set and thoroughly dry, and then the next day come back and do this. It just makes your life so much easier. Okay, so now we've got some words here. We've got peace and joy. And we're going to do exactly the same thing. We're going to rub and then pull it up. Okay, now make sure you get that little dot in the middle of the P, the little dot in the middle of the A and the E, and just rub with your finger if it doesn't want to come right up. Okay, so we did exactly the same thing. So we have peace, and we're just going to put this on 4 sections of the plate. So I'll do 1 right here. Okay, and press it down. And then get in a corner. You can use a pair of tweezers for this if you want. Makes it just taking the vinyl off a little bit easier. So you're going to get in a corner. You're going to pull it exactly the way we did before. Make sure that little dot, like right there in the E, that's down. The dot in the A, the dot in the other E, the part in the P. Okay, and again, we're going to press. Press it, press it, press it. Now we're going to do peace and joy. So we've got 2 joys and 2 pieces. And we're going to press again. Same thing we've been doing. We're going to start in a corner and pull across, go across. Again, sometimes tweezers just help get that up. So you want the vinyl stuck to the front, to the transfer tape, blue showing with nothing on it. Okay, gotta rub the O. There we go, joy. Turn the plate, and I'm gonna put that right about here. And press it down. The other thing you want to make sure is when you get this all on and we've got it painted, you don't want to let this set overnight. It'll be too hard to get it off. So the minute the water sheen is gone, we're going to lift this vinyl back off again. Okay, so we're going to press as you're pulling, go around the design so we don't get any bleed. Okay, got the joy, and make sure around all the letters you're pressed on. Now we're going to do a piece at the bottom, all the same way. Got a little piece of paper there I don't need. Pull it up. Vinyl is stuck to the transfer tape. Blue should have nothing on it. Okay, we're going to lay it down towards the bottom. There we go. Push it. And pull the transfer tape off. Just start in a corner. It doesn't matter which corner you start in. And separate. It's a little hard to see because we're white on white, but it'll work fine. Make sure all your little pieces are there. Okay, got that one. All right, so we got one more joy to put on the opposite side. What did I do with my other joy? Here it is. Okay. You get in the corner, pull it up so you see the blue. You want to make sure you're seeing the blue as you're pulling this off. Okay, that one came off really easy. And I think we'll do the joy so everything is facing in, I guess. All right, so let me see. I want to get this about centered. Put it on, push. Okay. Again, we're going to get in a corner. Use a pair of tweezers. And separate them. Okay, pulling the transfer tape off, pushing down as you go, making sure that all the letters are on there good. O in the middle. Okay. All right, so now we've got all the vinyl on, all pressed down and all on. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take some blue. I'm using Moody Blue here. It's a very, very dark blue. And you'll get a little container of this. Right there on the tree, I seen something sticking up. You know, go over and look at it again. You wanna make sure that everything is pressed down very well, so we don't get any bleed. Okay, so we're gonna put some blue on a paper plate or a tile, whatever you've got for a palette. And it's not gonna take much. You see how little bit I had there? And you'll get a stiff bristle brush. Now you could use a stiff bristle brush, you could use a sponge, synthetic sponge if you would like. And then you're gonna pick up the color and you're gonna dab it in here. Now, the color will soak in to the bisque or to the plate where you've got no vinyl. And the vinyl is gonna stay looking wet. And I want you to do this twice. So dab, put it in. All the way around. Do your letters. Now you can see how it's drying. It looks wet yet where the vinyl is, but on the bisque, it's getting dry. Sheen is going away. Okay, and a piece. All right, so that's one coat. I'm gonna go right back over this and give it a second. All right, so 2 coats. I want 2 coats sponged down there. But what a great little plate to give somebody with cookies on it for Christmas. It's just a cute, cute little plate. You can just use it for a plate stand, stand it on, put a candle in the middle of it. Lots of options for this plate. Okay, so now we've got 2 coats everywhere on this pattern, and that's how easy it's gonna be. All right, so then we're gonna give this just a little bit of drying time, not much. Like I said, I don't want this to dry, totally dry, but just a little bit till the water sheen starts to disappear here in the designs. We're getting really close. And then once it's dry, you're gonna get a pair of tweezers and you're gonna go in a corner, we work diagonally, and start to pull up the vinyl. Okay, garbage. I just stuck my finger in it. I'm going to clean that up right away. And that was my own fault. I got my finger stuck in it. So just a wet brush, go in there and pull that out. You could let it dry a little bit more. I'm forcing it because I'm trying to show you what to do in this video. I would let it set up a little bit more so you don't have that problem. All right, gotta go back in here and get out all the vinyl. There we go. Make sure that everything comes off. If, you know, a good rule of thumb too is if you want to take a picture of it with your phone, you can see where the vinyl is in case you can't find it once you start to lift. There was a little piece between his legs here. And make sure you get that out. Some right in here. There we go. Okay. And this is real important. You've got to get all this excess vinyl off. Yeah, it'll burn off in the kiln, but it takes the glaze with it. So we got to get it completely off. And once I get them, I will not be able to see if you got any vinyl left stuck on there. It just doesn't show up after it dries completely. So like I said, a good rule of thumb is to take a picture. That absolutely helps. And you can see where all the vinyl is. Okay, that looks pretty good. All right, let's get the rest of these letters off. Get my hands full of color. All right, when you are taking off these letters, now remember those little pieces that I said make sure that they're pushed down? We now have to get them out. So the P has a circle. It's got to come out. There we go. E's got that little piece, remember? The A and this E. So all that has to come out of there. Okay, the joy had the middle of the O. That's got to come out. There we go. The P, the E, the A, and the E. Okay, we got to take this joy one off. And pull out the center of that O. Okay, so now we have all the vinyl off. I've got a little spot here where it went beyond. And I'm not really worried about, because what I decided with these plates, let me get that little piece where I stuck my finger in it. What I decided with those plates, if you've got any little imperfections like that, we can spatter them. So we're going to take a toothbrush. And I like these dental toothbrushes. They're really nice and stiff. You can get them at Dollar Tree. They're $1. So they make great spatter brushes. So we're going to dip the toothbrush. You don't want it wet. You want the toothbrush dry. Dip the toothbrush in the color and then run your thumb across it. And it makes a spatter on the back of the plate. And that way, any little imperfection that you may have will be gone. Okay? So that's what we want to do. We're going to spatter the plate. So see how pretty that looks? Then you can take a foam sponge, and this is strictly up to you whether you want to do this. And with that same blue, You'll get about an ounce of it, so you'll have plenty to do this with. I might even do 2 ounces, and then if you wanted to paint the back of your plates in blue, you could. We're going to take a foam sponge, which I'll give you guys. I'll put them in with the kits. Just make sure you clean them and I get them back. Okay. So what you want to do is you're going to load just the tip of this with color. So we're just, see how I just put it on the end of that? That's all you want to do. And then the easiest way to do this is to hold the plate in one hand and take this and hold it this way. And then just run it along that edge. But hold the brush like this, the foam sponge, and push it in and run it around the end of your plate. Now, once this thoroughly dries, you can do the back of the plate in this blue if you want, and you have to do 2 really good coats. You can use that same fan brush that you used on the front. You could do the back of the plate in white, but don't do it until you've got this front done and you let it set for at least 2-3 hours so all the paint is good and dry and you don't smear anything. Okay, so that's basically how this plate is done. You see how quick and easy that was? I'm going to touch up that letter that I put my thumb into, the E over here. The E and the C I put my thumb into. So I'm going to go back and just touch this up. Okay. And now I'm a happy camper. And then you'll bring them back to the library, and the library will call me. I'll come and pick them all up, and we're going to fire them, and they'll be done. I see another little piece of vinyl right there. You see it? You can see it as it's drying. Let it dry, I would probably say 10 to 15 minutes. And then it's dry enough. If there's any vinyl left, it'll pop out. You'll be able to see it really clear. And then pull the rest of the vinyl off. So everything is good. So we're done with this project. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you soon. Bye. One thing that I forgot, make sure that you take and sign your plates. Otherwise, I won't know who belongs to what, and there'll be fights at the library after we get done. So I'll give you a little brush that you will get with your kit, and you're just going to go ahead and in that blue, put your name. Hold it at a little bit different angle. All right, yeah, make sure you get your name in there so we know whose plate is who when we're done. All right, guys, thanks.